You're texting her, waiting for that reply that never comes. Hours pass. She posts a story, laughs in comments, but your message stays unread. You tell yourself she's busy, that it's nothing. But deep down, you feel it. The shift. The tone changed, the rhythm vanished, the warmth faded. What used to feel like a connection now feels like you're auditioning for her attention. And here's the truth most men never want to face. When a woman starts acting like this, she's already made her choice. The distance isn't confusion. It's a quiet decision. These 5 clues will show you exactly when to stop talking and start walking. This isn't about anger or blame. It's about awareness. Every man has met a woman who slowly pulls away while pretending nothing's wrong. These clues expose that pattern. The small signals that reveal when her interest has died. Long before she says the words. Once you see them, you never unsee them. Before we begin, do me a favor. Hit like and hype buttons, subscribe to this channel, and drop a comment about what city you're watching from. Let's dive in. Clue 1. The energy mismatch. It always starts the same way. Smooth, mutual, exciting. You text. She replies fast. You make a joke. She laughs with emojis and follow-up questions. There's rhythm. There's flow. Then one day, it changes. The tempo slows, but not completely. You're still getting messages, just not the same energy behind them. She takes longer to reply. Her tone shifts from warm to neutral. The spark doesn't disappear in one move. It fades in fragments. This is the energy mismatch, the first and clearest signal that interest has started to die. It's not about the number of messages. It's about the effort inside them. You'll notice the difference between curiosity and obligation. Where she once built conversations, now she maintains them. You initiate, she replies. You ask, she answers. You share, she acknowledges. The exchange still exists, but the intent behind it is gone. Psychologically, this happens when emotional investment becomes unbalanced. One person still feels anticipation, the other just wants to manage expectations. She might not even know she's doing it. Her instincts are already withdrawing while her logic tries to stay polite. Her replies start to sound busy. Her words shrink in size while your paragraphs grow. You begin to compensate, hoping to restore that early spark. But that's exactly how you lose control. You think you're being thoughtful. She sees you as predictable. Your growing effort signals need, and need kills attraction. She doesn't consciously punish you for caring. She just stops rewarding consistency because excitement thrives on uncertainty. That's why she suddenly has hectic days, back-to-back meetings, low energy. Those aren't random excuses. They're exit rehearsals. Look deeper, and you'll see timing patterns. She's unavailable during your most important hours, yet active online at others. She replies right after posting a story. Not because she suddenly found time, but because she wants to remind you she could engage whenever she wants. It's power disguised as busyness. This shift is subtle but deliberate. Most women don't end connections with confrontation. They let inconsistency do it for them. It's emotional weaning, slowly reducing contact until you normalize the absence. She's not trying to hurt you. She's trying to exit without guilt. Here's the hard truth. Attention is currency. When it loses equal value, the connection collapses. You can't rebuild it by spending more. The more effort you give while she withdraws, the cheaper your attention becomes. The moment you feel yourself chasing, stop. Mirror her pace. Match her brevity. Let silence test her interest instead of words. Real attraction doesn't need reminders. If she's still invested, she'll notice the gap and step forward. If she doesn't, she's already gone. And when she is, you'll see the next stage forming. Not withdrawal through silence, but retreat through kindness. The polite distance mask. Clue 2. The polite distance mask. She still replies, still smiles in her messages, still says, "Hope your day's good." On the surface, nothing seems wrong. But deep down, you feel the temperature drop. The spark is gone, replaced by manners. Every word is clean, careful, safe. That's not maturity. That's disconnection dressed up as politeness. This is the polite distance mask, the most subtle and socially acceptable form of emotional withdrawal. She doesn't want to be the villain, so instead of cutting things off, she cushions the exit. She'll keep responding just enough to avoid guilt, just enough to look kind, while emotionally stepping back 1 inch at a time. The psychology behind it is self-protection mixed with control. Many women fear confrontation more than dishonesty. They'd rather fade politely than risk looking cruel. So they build this soft wall, pleasant, agreeable, untouchable. It's her version of disappearing without ever leaving. You'll notice small, repeated cues. Messages shrink in length but increase in formality. Where she once wrote, "Can't wait to see you," now it's "sounds good." Where she used to send laughter, now it's the neutral smile emoji. She answers questions but never asks them back. Her curiosity dies quietly while her courtesy stays alive. She'll tell you she's been busy, but somehow she still posts stories from restaurants, beaches, or girls' nights. She'll say, "We should hang soon," but never names a day. Her replies become predictable, short, calm, hollow. It's not anger. It's emotional exit in slow motion. What confuses men most is that she's not hostile. She's nice. Too nice. Her tone avoids tension. Her phrases sound soft. Her excuses reasonable. You can't call her out on anything because technically she hasn't done anything wrong. That's what makes it powerful. It's rejection you can't confront. This mask protects her from guilt and protects you from closure. You're left chasing understanding while she quietly resets her emotional life elsewhere. And when you try to confront her, she'll deflect with kindness. "You're overthinking? You're such a good guy. I just need some space." Polite words that end connection without ever naming it. Here's the truth. Once communication feels like customer service, the relationship is over. When she's more worried about sounding nice than being real, she's already detached. Don't mistake softness for hope. It's mercy. And the sooner you recognize that, the sooner you stop texting into a void disguised as conversation. Because the next stage after politeness isn't clarity, it's silence. And silence, when intentional, becomes her most powerful tool. Clue 3. The selective silence strategy. Silence used to feel peaceful. Now it feels like punishment. You send a message, no reply. Hours turn into days. Then, just when you've started to detach, she reappears with a calm, "Hey, sorry, been busy." No apology, no emotion, just a reset. You forgive it because you miss her. You tell yourself she's overwhelmed, that life got in the way. But if you look closely, you'll see a pattern. Silence always follows connection. This is the selective silence strategy. Not random ghosting, but timed withdrawal. She goes quiet exactly when the emotional tension peaks. After a great date, a long talk, or an intimate moment. The moment she senses attachment, she pulls back. It's not cruelty, it's control. Silence becomes her tool for regulating power. She knows absence creates desire. Psychologically, this behavior triggers what's known as intermittent reinforcement, the same mechanism that keeps gamblers glued to slot machines. When connection comes and goes unpredictably, The mind becomes addicted to the chase. You never know when you'll win her attention again, so you keep investing, hoping the next message breaks the silence. You're no longer dating her. You're waiting for her notifications. She knows this rhythm intuitively. Every pause keeps you wondering what you did wrong. You rewrite messages, reread conversations, blame yourself for her withdrawal. You become the one chasing equilibrium she deliberately disturbed. That's the point. When you're busy analyzing the silence, you're not noticing the pattern. Look at how it unfolds. She shares something personal. You connect deeply, maybe even get closer physically or emotionally. Then, nothing. The same woman who once messaged all day vanishes for a weekend. When she returns, she acts like nothing happened, expecting you to match her calm. You do, because you're relieved she's back. That relief reinforces the cycle. The silence worked. This pattern is psychological currency. By controlling communication, she dictates emotional tempo. When she responds, you feel validated. When she disappears, you question your worth. That imbalance keeps her in control while making you feel responsible for fixing what she created. Here's what most men never realize. Silence communicates more than words ever could. When she withholds contact, she's not uncertain. She's experimenting, testing how long she can fade before you protest. The less you resist, the longer the next silence lasts. The only real defense is disengagement. Don't react. Don't text again, just to check. Don't try to explain what she already understands perfectly well. Absence is her chosen language. Don't translate it into hope. When she disappears, disappear with her. Let her experience what true silence feels like when it's mutual. Because the next pattern takes this manipulation one step further. She'll return, open up again, share emotions, and make you feel needed. Not to reconnect, but to recharge herself through your attention. That's the next stage. The validation drain. Clue 4. The validation drain. You notice the pattern long before you name it. She calls when she's upset, texts when she's anxious, vents when she feels invisible. You listen, comfort, calm, reassure. For a moment, it feels intimate, like she trusts you more than anyone else. But once her storm passes, she disappears. No check-in, no curiosity about your day, just quiet. Then, days later, another crisis, another download, another emotional cleanup on your time. This is the validation drain, a hidden loop where your empathy becomes her power source. It feels like connection, but it's not mutual. It's extraction. You're giving her something she can't generate alone. Stability, grounding, reassurance. She's not using you for money or status. She's using you for emotional regulation. You've become her safety net, not her partner. Psychologically, it's rooted in dependency. When someone's sense of worth fluctuates, they subconsciously seek others who can stabilize it. Each time she unloads, she's not just talking, she's transferring tension. When she feels lighter, you feel drained. That exchange is the entire mechanism. You give, she resets. And because you care, you do it again. Look at the details. She only reaches out when she needs emotional maintenance. She disappears when things are fine. She compliments you right after a vent. You always know what to say. You make me feel calm. You're the only one who understands. Those aren't love declarations. They're reinforcement cues, the breadcrumbs that keep you emotionally available. Over time, this pattern creates confusion. You start thinking her vulnerability means intimacy. It doesn't. It means she trusts your stability. not your presence. You become the emotional pit stop before she continues her journey elsewhere. And the more available you stay, the more she associates your attention with relief, not attraction. Here's what most men miss. The validation drain doesn't happen with loud drama. It hides behind empathy. You'll feel good helping her until you realize she never asks how you're doing. You'll notice your conversations always end when she feels better. Her world feels lighter. Yours feels heavier. That imbalance is the proof. Eventually, you start sensing something hollow. You send a message. No reply. You follow up. She thanks you, promises to call, disappears again. Then, right when you stop trying, she returns. Sorry, I've just been going through so much. And just like that, the cycle restarts. She's not reconnecting. She's refueling. The only way out is withdrawal, not emotional coldness, but boundaries. Stop rescuing. Stop explaining. Stop offering emotional labor to someone who gives nothing back. Watch what happens next. Without your constant reassurance, her contact drops. The illusion of closeness fades. She doesn't get angry. She gets bored. That's the real sign you were never a partner, only a provider of emotional stability. Once she can't drain you, she detaches completely. And when that happens, her final act begins, the reflection she builds to keep you hooked, even after she's gone. The mirror illusion. Clue 5. The mirror illusion. She seems perfect. Not in a loud, dramatic way, in a quiet, effortless one. She gets your humor, finishes your thoughts, likes the same movies, the same music, the same ideas about life. Conversations flow like you've known each other for years. You tell yourself, finally, someone who understands me. But what feels like deep compatibility is often something else entirely. Reflection. This is the mirror illusion, one of the most seductive and dangerous psychological games in dating. It doesn't rely on lies. It relies on imitation. She becomes what you admire, echoing your values, your rhythm, your worldview. It feels genuine because the reflection looks exactly like you. But it's not connection. It's calibration. She's studying your emotional code, then playing it back to you for trust and control. Psychologically, this technique uses mirroring and emotional mimicry, subconscious mechanisms that create instant rapport. When someone copies our tone or gestures, we feel recognized, safe, understood. The brain translates similarity as compatibility. That's why you fall faster, open up deeper, and reveal more. But what you're building intimacy with isn't her true self. It's a projection designed to earn loyalty. Then, once the attachment is secure, the reflection fades. Her opinions shift. The phrases she used to love now irritate her. The playlists you shared disappear from her stories. You start to feel like the same things that connected you now create distance. That's the moment the mask slips, and the person you fell for evaporates. Here's the harsh truth. She never changed. She simply stopped mirroring. The real personality was always waiting behind the reflection, observing how you'd react once she pulled it away. The more shocked or desperate you become trying to get her back, the more validation she feels, not from love, but from control. You've just proven how deeply her performance worked. The goal of the mirror illusion isn't affection, it's influence. She builds emotional dependence by becoming your ideal image of closeness. Once she senses she's fully internalized in your mind, she withdraws, leaving you chasing the ghost of who she pretended to be. You'll replay every moment, searching for the real her, not realizing that she only existed through your reflection. Men trapped in this illusion often confuse confusion with chemistry. They tell themselves, maybe she's just lost, maybe I can bring her back. But there's nothing to bring back. You can't fix an echo once it stops returning your sound. The only escape is to stop responding to the mirror. Don't demand explanations. Don't beg for the version that made you feel seen. That version was built from your own image. And once you recognize that, the spell breaks. Real connection doesn't imitate. It reveals. When you finally stop reacting, the mirror shatters quietly. She may try to reappear, but now you'll see the difference. Imitation feels empty once you've experienced authenticity. And that's when everything turns. Because the moment you stop chasing reflections, you become someone no illusion can control again. If you recognize even 2 of these clues, stop negotiating with them. Indifference is not confusion. It's closure delivered in slow motion. Every unanswered text, every polite reply, every silence is a message. You're being phased out. Don't beg for clarity. Silence is clarity. Step back, reclaim your energy, and remember, genuine interest never hides behind mixed signals. It speaks, shows up, and stays.